What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react to something really, really stupid that the US ambassador to Canada said just the other day. So his name is Pete Hoekstra. And I mean, he's supposed to represent the United States to Canada. But according to this article, the US ambassador is disappointed with anti American sentiment in Canada. Yes, you heard that correctly. This American, my fellow American that represents all of us, here is upset with Canadians. Ha! Ha ha! We flipped it around. We flipped the script on you. I think this is what they call gaslighting, if you know that term. When somebody does something horrible to you and then tries to make you feel bad about it. I mean, this is just ridiculous. This would be pretty ridiculous for any American to say, but it's not just any American. This is the U.S. ambassador to Canada. You can't make this up. I'm actually pretty curious to take a look at what exactly he said, but at face value, this is one of the dumbest things you could say, and certainly not helping to mend our relationship with Canada. That's for sure. I mean, what is it? This is like if a bear came out of the woods and bit your arm off, bit your entire arm off, and you were like, man, jeez, I hate bears. Screw bears. And then this guy, Pete Hoekstra, came up to you and was like, what's with all this anti-bear sentiment? What's your problem? Like, what are you talking about? America has done numerous bad things to Canada at this point. Started this whole trade war, tariff debacle, the 51st state nonsense. It goes on. And then this guy, Pete Hoekstra, has the nerve to just be completely dumbfounded about it. I want to see the video. Like, what? Can he just not wrap his brain around the idea that when someone does something bad to you, you don't really like it? Does basic human behavior confuse him? I'm genuinely curious about this.
The thing that was probably, the most unexpected. And we're going to get right into the meat of the stuff that we want to talk about today, okay?
What? He hasn't even said anything, and I'm already flabbergasted. My gasts have never been more flabbered than this moment. Did he say this was surprising? Don't tell me he is actually has the nerve to sit there with a band-aid on his head saying he is surprised that Canadians feel this way? Where has he been? What are people in his position, like in the government, just that out of touch? Is that what's going on here?
I'm disappointed that I came to Canada, a Canada that it is very, very difficult to find Canadians who are passionate about the American-Canadian relationship.
What? This is surprising information to him. I'm genuinely, shocked. I'm really more confused. Why? Who is this guy? I don't even know this Pete Hoekstra. I don't think he really deserves to have this job anymore, just given this statement. Is there something I'm not understanding here? What do you mean he's surprised that he's not finding Canadians passionate about the US-Canada relationship? Given everything that the United States has done, all the policies that we have in place, literally tweets or truths, posts, whatever, that Trump makes almost daily about how difficult it is to get along with Canada, for Canada just existing. And he's going to say he doesn't know why Canadians aren't, jumping for joy to team up with the United States?
Okay? You ran a campaign where, you know, it was anti-American, elbows up, me too.
Yeah,
it
duh.
was an
Like, it's not that difficult. I I'm American. I'm not like I get it. I'm not even offended. Like I would be shocked if Canada wasn't upset. I would be like actually like worried. I'd be like Canada should be more upset about this, in some weird scenario, but I would say Canada is the appropriate level of upset if we're gonna really like sit down and analyze this.
anti-American campaign. And that has continued.
It sounds like this guy is just like he's American and maybe he's like almost too proud and it's diluted. Like he cannot wrap his mind around the idea that there are people out in the world who don't like some of the things that America does. He can't understand that. He won't allow himself to understand America makes mistakes. Sometimes we do things wrong. Sometimes we don't make the right decision. Sometimes we piss people off. We do that. It's life, it happened. And we have to acknowledge that and try to do better in the future. It's okay to admit these things. It's okay. Someone needs to like tell this guy that because he actually seems offended that Canadians feel negatively about America, like as if that shouldn't even be allowed or something.
It's disappointing. I talk to a lot of business people. They are passionate about the relationship because they recognize rebuilding ecosystems and rebuilding the kind of economic relationships that we have.
Sure, I mean, business owners who are directly affected by this stuff are going to be the most passionate because it's not particularly because they are passionate about getting along with America or Americans or our government. They're passionate about not losing their job. They're passionate about not going out of business. Like, this seems like very common sense.
As some people talk about, we'll go other places. It's kind of like, that's hard. Plus, this one
Sure.
works pretty well. We've created a lot of prosperity and wealth, high quality, high paying jobs by working together on both sides of the border. Like I said, I'm passionate for it. The business community is passionate for it, but they're not very public about it.
Okay. I mean, I understand part of where he's coming from. Like, this is his whole job. This is his reason for existing right now, is to be the ambassador to Canada. Honestly, his agenda is probably to make sure the United States, like, gets more of what we want than Canada wants. Let's be honest. Like, this is an American representative. But at his core, he wants to do his job to repair the Canada-US relationship. Let's accept that, sure. Let's just take that as a given. That's fine. And it's just that he seems so upset and confused about Canadians being so upset and not really wanting or not being excited to repair or the relationship between our two countries. And that to me is a big problem because in order to fix the relationship between Canada and the United States, in order to even go about doing that, you have to be able to sit back and understand why it even happened. And it just seems to me, based on this, he doesn't understand why this has happened. It's like, I don't know if he's not willing to acknowledge that America can do bad things. I don't know if he's not willing to acknowledge people can criticize America and be correct. I don't know what it is, but this is troubling, to say the least, and extremely tone-deaf thing to say. And I'm sure Canadians aren't happy to, like, talk about the worst way to go about this. He's probably causing even more damage by talking about it like this. He's causing more damage. for sure, without a doubt, by being that tone-deaf American guy who represents the U.S. and doesn't understand how Canadians feel or why. This is bad. The more I think about this, it's worse than I even thought. There's a Reddit discussion on this where I think Canadians commented on what they're thinking about this, which I'd like to see. What are Canadians thinking about this? Because as an American, I can't speak for Canadians, but I'm embarrassed, and I would think this is coming across very poorly. That's what I would think. Is he smoking crack? Someone had to say it. Someone had to come out and say what we're all thinking. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know why he's saying that. This is really bad. The US president threatened to annex Canada repeatedly. The US started a trade war and stated the aim is to weaken Canada economically and make annexation easier. And now this guy's mad Canadians aren't clamoring to be friendly to the United States. Exactly. This is exactly what I was thinking. I mean, and you don't have to be a genius to even understand this. That's the sad thing. This is making me I'm already concerned about the US government. This is not helping. Like, the people representing the United States are supposed to be some of our best and brightest, some of the smartest people your community and country has to offer, people who are able to communicate. His entire job is communicating between the thoughts and intentions of the United States to Canada and to promote a productive relationship between the US and Canada. And it just sounds like he's complaining. It just sounds like he's like whining and moaning that Canadians aren't making his job easy enough. What? Oh my goodness gracious. What else are Canadians saying? I'm sorry, was Canada supposed to just smile and support all the 51st state talk? Were Canadians supposed to enjoy hearing they're poisoning Americans with drugs? All the implied talk that Canadians don't matter? All the threats to obey what Trump says or suffer more tariffs? And let's not forget to mention a Canadian citizen died in U.S. custody this year. Really? Oh my God. Completely and utterly F off. I wonder what happened in that press conference. Like, if there were some Canadians there who could just speak their mind freely to this U.S. ambassador, I'm pretty sure this is about the gist of what you would say. I'm disappointed. Quote, I'm disappointed I came to Canada. That's not what he said exactly, but it's kind of the tone that you get. So are we, buddy, so are we. Oh my God. This ambassador is playing the victim card to milk sympathy instead of taking responsibility for Trump's American attacks on Canada. That is exactly what it seems like. Like, did this guy have a bad day? Did somebody throw a bag of milk at him? Did someone throw a poutine and hit him in the face earlier? Did he slip on a bag of ketchup chips and hurt his ankle? Why is he what? I'm just trying to think of what would possess him to say this. What would possess him to get up in front of a microphone in front of people on video and say that? And because it really annoys me, because I'm American, I know about this stuff too. I talk about this stuff and the U.S.-Canada relationship, and none of it is rocket science to me. It's a horrible situation that's entirely self-inflicted by the United States onto ourselves, just with entirely the intention to be in American interests. The entire reason for all of this stuff, the trade wars, the tariffs, the everything, is just because America wants to do what's best for us and not really care about others. At the core, that's a lot of it. And I can see that. It's not You have to be pretty deluded, I think. That's the annoying thing. Like, you really have to be kidding yourself a lot. Like, in a lot of denial to be the US Canada ambassador and say you don't understand why Canadians are feeling the way they feel towards America. Funny, there was no such anti American sentiment a year ago. I wonder what happened. Right, what changed? If he took his head out of his ass for some fresh air, he might realize why Canada is pissed off. Did this make like news in Canada? Because I really hope it didn't. Because this is really embarrassing. And I'm actually genuinely worried that stuff like this, it only makes America look worse. And I'll even go as far as to say, this guy doesn't represent what most Americans think. And yet, he's the American ambassador to Canada. You can't make this up. Kicking a good neighbor in the groin will not get you invited to dinner. Maybe that's what is that what needs to happen? Like a literal demonstration? Like, I'm not advocating violence, but what would this analogy demonstrated on Pete, like, show him what's going on here? I don't know. Uh, Maybe just the analogy. We don't want to condone violence or anything. That's terrible. Canadian here. F this a-hole. He is and his pedo rapist press. Okay, we're Peter. We're really getting to what Canadians are really feeling now. Peter Hoekstra is an embarrassment to Canada and the Netherlands. What a complete and utter moron. He can F his way off back to the USA. I didn't know about this guy. I gotta be honest. Maybe that shows like how much Americans are sort of out of touch. Like, I didn't know who the American ambassador to Canada, or I don't know who our ambassadors to all the countries are, really. That's a lot of random people, and I never really concerned myself with that. Now I'm really concerned. Now it's really annoying, because these ambassadors, American ambassadors, are making us look really dumb, saying stupid stuff like this. So hopefully, as an American, I kind of set the record straight a little bit here. I don't think most Americans would agree with what he said, and I don't know what's wrong with him. And that's my thoughts. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts, especially if you're Canadian, what your thoughts on the statements by the American ambassador to Canada. It's probably not going to be good, but like I always say, you got to hear the feedback. You got to hear what people are really thinking, or else you're just doing a disservice to yourself. And that's what America's doing to ourselves right now. So it'd be cool to hear Canadians' thoughts on this. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Canada and seeing Canadian things I've never seen before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.